Welcome to the third quarter of the Paddock the Goals. Today we welcome two passionate community leaders, educators and volunteers from both Donald and from Birchip. So it's a very good and warm welcome to Danny Forrest. G'day, Danny.
G'day, Trav. How you going?
Really well. Thanks for making some time. And from Birchip, our 2023 Australia Day Citizen of the Year recipient for Paddock Shire Council. Hi, Julie. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks, Travis, for having me.
And again, thank you both for making some time. Danny, you've had significant experience in rural and regional education, board member of the Country Education Partnership, a voice for rural education, and served on the Wimmera Education Cluster for over a decade. You're the former Donald Primary School principal and currently principal at Wedderburn College. You've been recognised as Australia's Teacher of the Year as well. So you and your wife moved to Donald, have raised your family there. You've immersed yourself as a volunteer across many organisations. What drew you to Donald, Danny, and what makes you feel proud to live in our great community?
Look, I feel blessed that I've had the opportunity to raise a family in Donald. I'm a country boy. I grew up in far east Gippsland in a little country town called Buchan, and I suppose I'm always been a country boy. Like, I enjoy my time going to university, but look, I was lucky enough to have an opportunity out of the blue to pick up principal's job at Watcham Primary School, and then that opened my eyes to a different part of the state, and I just think it's a fantastic area. The climate's genuinely good, and there's just some great communities in the Paddock Shire. And look, I've had a look around it a couple of times and been in a few different roles, but I find Donald home, and it's just great to be part of the community, and we look forward to staying there for a long time to come.
Well, congratulations on your contribution both to that community and to education, Danny. Tremendous. Julie, the quintessential team player, we touched on this in Watcham when you took out the Citizen of the Year award earlier this year. Approachable, always helping others to always feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves. Life membership, of course, being the highest honour bestowed upon an individual who demonstrates exceptional, loyal and outstanding service and provides measurable benefits to an organisation. So Julie, the recipient of not one, but remarkably 3 life memberships for her incredible contribution to Birchip Watcham Netball Club, the Birchip Lawn Tennis Club and the North Central Netball Association. So your contribution has been well marked with well-deserving acknowledgement. Heavily involved in the Birchip Leisure Centre as well as the Agricultural and Pastoral Society for quite a while as well. So the main point of contact for over 2 months assisting Blade Aid volunteers back in 2016 when Birchip was impacted by flooding and established a base camp at the tennis club whilst they repaired fences across the impacted parts of the community. Birchip really took the lead after the millennial drought, Julie, with lessons learned driving home the importance of creating community spaces with enhanced livabilities. Primary producers were impacted again around Birchip with that flood event. How much preparedness work had been done in Birchip to be more resilient, and what are some of those achievements we saw?
Well, I think the real achievement of Birchip and the community was, despite those setbacks to the businesses in the town by the effects of the flood and drought, the community was still looking to the future and looking, how can we improve our community, how can we improve our town, improve the livability of the town. So there's quite a lot of projects that still got up and running. Lots of things got done around the town, the likes of the community streetscape. We had a big improvement and upgrade to the Birchip Oval. We had female-friendly change room upgrade up at the Leisure Centre to the change rooms there. And we also had new businesses opening. The Birchip Forum instigated the Mallee Art Festival, and we had streetscape artists and murals put up. So the town really went forward, even though we had those setbacks. People still had this mind of being Birchip community, let's look to the future, let's make people want to come here. And I think that was probably the main achievement, that even though out of desperate times, people were still looking towards Birchip. What can we do for Birchip? And I think the improvements and things that have happened around our community, just amazing. Like, we even had hundreds of trees planted in our nature strips as part of a cooling birchup project. So that was instigated by the Birchup Forum as well. So I think, yeah, the main achievements even coming out of is just coming out of the bad times was that people still had the resilience, and they had the down times, of course, but they had the resilience to just keep going and keep the community going, which was great.
Terrific. And word is that you're one of the main contributors to the I Grew Up in Birchup Facebook page. It's connecting people to Birchup, some that are around, some that have been gone for a few years. A great initiative to enhance that livability as well. What makes you proud of being a Birchup resident?
Well, I have been here since I was a baby, and I've raised my children here, and I've got grandchildren living here now. So I am very proud of the town and just the facilities, the people, the community, everything we've got going for us. And it was during COVID that I picked up on the I Grew Up in Birchup page and thought I'd like to show people who can't travel what we've got in Birchup, the facilities we've got, how great a community. And that was one thing I picked up and took photos of businesses, of the of Chum Lake, of any community event that was going on around Birchup. And I just wanted to show people that, yeah, we're a great spot, and when you can come back and travel after COVID restrictions are finished, come back and see Birchup and just see that we really are thriving. Like, people away here of, well, as we said, droughts and floods and what sort of farming season it is. Is it good, is it bad? Is it, everything relies on the weather. I just did want to show people that despite some of the doom and gloom that you see in the media about farming communities, Birchup was a small town that was still thriving. And come back and see us, come and visit us, put us on your map for the Grey Nomad travels, and come and see that we're a great town. So that's one of the reasons why I really picked up on the Facebook post, and people are really interested, and there's lots of comments that brings back memories to people. So yeah, I was really proud to be able to do that, showcase the town a bit more.
Well done. In the aftermath of natural disaster, it's common for people and communities about this time, 6-8 months later, still be feeling those impacts, experiencing fatigue, contributing to that drop in community participation and volunteerism. We've essentially stepped out of COVID into the flood. To both of you, Danny, I'll go to you first. What have you observed in your community, and what are you concerned about?
Look, there's no doubt we weren't as impacted as greatly right in town with the floods as we have been previously, but there was I think a term I've heard, seasonal stress. Look, we're all in farming districts, and there was that real seasonal stress. Yes, we were impacted a little bit thanks to that nice levee that's been constructed. It really did protect a lot of the Goodwin village and majority of houses and that, which is fantastic. But that seasonal stress, it made it a late harvest, a late finish, so it just dragged on. So that was, and you think, I think back and I see it in the families at schools. You can almost tell who hasn't had a holiday that they normally would have. They work hard all year. They need that break, and then it rolls on because it's a late finish. They've got to get all the gear ready for cropping, and you can still see it now. I think I'm only just starting to see some farmers start to relax now that the crop's in the ground this year. So you do see that. So there's impacts there. I think with that too, when you're so busy, you've got to make a dollar and you've got to get things right at home. It does impact on the number of volunteers and people you've got available to help out at your sporting clubs and your organisation. So I've noticed a bit of a drop off with that. I think combined with COVID and then the flood, we've lost quite a few people. It gives people an opportunity to a way out, if they like, a free way out, so they can't. I've had enough. I'm a bit bit tired, I'm a bit fatigued, I might drop off. So I've seen a bit of that. I know with my oldest son, the COVID impacts, there's this group of, and the ones that we really need involved, the 15 to 30-year-olds, lost a couple of footy seasons, and we've actually lost quite a few. We're struggling to re-engage them back in the sporting clubs. They might help you out for a week, but there's other things to do. Like often think back to my sports career. You never had weddings, different things in footy season. A lot more of that's happening now. We had players unavailable a few weeks ago because they went duck shooting, and normally that would never happen. Like it's just different things. They'll go to rock concerts. No, it's not a high priority. So probably priorities have changed.
Yep.
So I've seen that, and it definitely the last few years is having an impact on our volunteer workforce.
Are you observing similar things in Birchip, Julie?
Yeah, some people have dropped off their hours they give to volunteering and so forth. But I think that we have a good young community coming on, young people coming on, taking on positions, and young families, parents and young families see the benefits of their kids playing junior sport, and they're starting to pick up on the jobs now. So hopefully a few more will be able to do that. And I think the volunteers, there's so many volunteers that are needed to run like football, netball and hockey games on a Saturday. There's so many people needed. It's really quite an extraordinary event, North Central Sport, on a winter's day. So there's lots of volunteers that are needed. But I think generally people tend to pick up, they put on a roster, they do their couple of jobs, but then there's the people that do quite extraordinary work every week. And our club, winter clubs, have got quite a unique initiative going at the moment where they've got people nominate Volunteer of the Week. And a Facebook post will go up on the three sporting pages. There's been some amazing contributions there from people, and it really is an eye-opener to some people that just don't know the jobs that go on behind the scenes. There's some people putting in an extraordinary amount of hours in preparing, the things for hockey and netball and football in the day, and that's a really great initiative that's really opened the eyes of people, and hoping to entice more people just to put their hand up, just to do a few more jobs and not just their basic scoring twice for the year. So hopefully that'll encourage more people to pick up on the jobs that are needed to be done. So,
is there any evidence that that's happening? It sounds like it's certainly giving that volunteer base that's already there that lift and the acknowledgement they need and the nourishment. But are we seeing a few more?
They've got a bit of a new initiative this year in the netball. Instead of just having a roster and putting people on the roster, each week they list the jobs and call for volunteers to put their hand up. So you're not actually put on a roster and then someone doesn't turn up or you can't do it that day, so you've got to find someone else to do it. And that's been quite and it's quite a good response to that. It actually shows how many jobs are needed to be done in the day too. And then the Thursday night tea used to be just by a roster, and that same thing, they're putting out, here's the jobs that need to be done, can you put your hand up? And, yeah, I think the response has been quite good. They're quite happy with how that's going at the moment. So,
Great.
Yeah, I think if more people it's raised the awareness of a few more people to say, hey, I better do just a couple more jobs. I'm not experienced at doing paperwork or speaking or anything, but I can get in and do the dishes a few more times at the training tees, or I can score a few more matches or timekeep a few more games. So I think it's an initiative that has really recognised those volunteers that go above and beyond, gives people an idea of what needs to be done, and more volunteers are putting their hand up to do the jobs, which is good.
Danny, what initiatives like that or interventions have been put in place or need to be put in place to help your community bounce back?
So what we've made a real effort the last few years, apart from COVID years, of course, but even just before that, we recognise the fact that you need a large amount of volunteers to run the three sports of a weekend, and we need to work together more. So the biggest thing we've done now, we haven't in name, merged the three clubs to be a sporting club, even though we still have our separate committees. We're really pushing this notion of that we're all the Royal Blues. So that's a big thing. So all the social functions, anything that we can do, we're promoting it as the Royal Blues. So that's been a big change, and financially, off to the side with sponsorship, and we're just combining things where we can to look out for each other. So that's starting to impact positively. The numbers of people attending Thursday night meals are up, and social functions, and because it's really about bringing people together. That's what your club's as good as that culture that you promote. We want a positive culture, we want to be inclusive. So we're going over and above to do that. We're purposely targeting to be well over 20 on our footy committee now. In the past, we've probably operated at about 15, 16. You lose one or two, but we're really making the effort. We're actually actively recruiting to make sure we've got extra people on board. And a big change has been that we've opened our arms. We've got 4 female members of our footy committee over the last couple of years. And I reckon that's great too, because you get the different perspective. They're active participants on the committee. So it just really shows that you're about family and being inclusive. Our next job is to really look. I'm 50. I don't think I should run the show the whole time like a few of my mates. We've got to target these young ones because it's about their footy or club, hockey clubs in the future. So we'll be there to support them, but we're really trying to get a lot more younger members involved, even if it's just with social things to start and then before they jump on the formal committee. But it's about getting them involved because we're setting them up for a bright future.
And while you're running hot, Danny, how are the Royal Blues going in footy, netball and hockey this year? Well, I tell you what, we've really, if the script writer was trying to put together how it was predicted, we've certainly thrown the script out because it's been a mixed bag of results. Obviously, the senior football, we've had our highs and lows. We've had 14. The first game, we had 14 changes in the senior side from our grand final side from last year, and that theme's continued because we've been really hit by injuries. But the recruiters have done a great job to cover some of those long-term injuries. So we're back in the mix. We've won 3 in a row now. We've got the top clash with Sea Lake today, so we're hopefully go all right. But look, I look at it that we're competing in. We've nearly filled every single sporting grade. We're all competitive, and the most important thing, everyone's getting together and having fun. So you don't just judge your success by winning a premiership medal every year, but if you've got a lot of members and there's a lot of happy people around, I think we're going all right. We're having a pretty good 2023. That's outstanding to hear. And what about the Bulls, Julie? What are you seeing?
All grades fielded in. We've got four football teams and 4 hockey teams and 7 netball teams. And quick look at the ladder, and most of them are featuring in the 4. We've got one more match before we've played a full round. We've got a bye this weekend, play Sonata the following weekend. That'll be the end of our first round. I think the fact that, what Danny said, we're fielding so many teams, there's so many people out there participating. I think that's the main thing, especially with our juniors. We've got great junior numbers across our netball in particularly. We've got juniors that are representing North Central Netball. They've just finished a tournament on Sunday, and they're all gaining strength in their confidence in their game. So, and look, a shout out to our women's hockey team. They're really struggling for numbers, and then I have a look at the scores and a ladder, and they're in 4th position. So they're doing a really good job week to week. So some grades, bit trouble with the numbers, but it's just I'm always in awe of North Central Sport because the fact that so many of our towns can put out hockey, netball and football teams every week and the personnel to run them, I think we're just so unique, in North Central. So I'm really proud of North Central across the board as well. So
It's a great observation and something we overlook somewhat, isn't it? The ability for our towns to field in 3 different sports, not just 2, quite extraordinary. Just a reminder that there's a free community event coming up in Birchip. George the Farmer will be live on Sunday, the 16th of July at 11 a.m. The Lokeshire Council and BCG have partnered to support this event, which is free for 0 to 12-year-olds and their families. There will be book readings, dance parties, giveaways, a door raffle, an opportunity to meet George, and catering after the show. So George the Farmer, show bags will be available on the day as well. Sunday, the 16th of July, that is happening too. A couple of other points worth noting while we have 2 wonderful volunteers in our midst. Nominations for the 2023 Volunteering Awards are open. Anyone can nominate. It's quick. It's easy. You'll make a deserving volunteer or community organisation feel recognised and really mark their contribution they make to the whole state of Victoria. Grab the Volunteer Award website, jump on, have a look at the nominations. They close on the 17th of July. So that is volunteeringvictoria.org.au/awards. And just a quick reminder too that Council is conducting surveys to gain valuable insights into what's important for our youth, parents and carers. All our families, we want to learn more about how we operate. So we really want to understand the needs, concerns and aspirations for the future. So those surveys are open until the 23rd of June. Please go on the Paddock Shire Council website for more information. Julie, Danny, thanks so much for coming in today. Hopefully the Bulls and the Royal Blues go wonderfully well across this Saturday at the sports.
Thanks, Travis.
Thank you.